probably decided to go to college because when I was in high school, my counselor said that I should be a secretary so that I could just sit behind a desk, and that really agitated me. And I was like, no way, I'm gonna show you.
People who are educated have careers. People who, aren't educated basically wind up in a job, and that's all they're in for. But I wanted to be a part of something. I wanted to be a part of a profession. I also, frankly, I wanted an education.
When I was a senior in high school, I had my mind pretty much made up that I wanted to be a physical education teacher. And coaching kind of allows me to do the same things that being a PE teacher allows me, except now I can give back to disabled youth versus able-bodied kids that I would see in a high school environment.
I wanted to be considered one of the best players in the world. And so I knew that I had to be dedicated to do that. I also was knowing that I wanted to graduate from college because I thought that if I wanted to have any type of life for myself, being a black man with a disability, what type of job I was going to get. And so I got serious about, okay, you need to get a college education.
At some point you decide either your disability is going to be a horrible thing and it's going to linger forever, or you maximize what you've got.
And I think one of the things that really helped me to adjust to it was while I was going through the rehab, a lot of young people my age that was victim of gang violence in Chicago. But when we was in the hospital, we didn't really identify with a gang. We identified with, we all trying to live our life with a disability. And one day I was sitting down in the front lobby, and the coach of the junior basketball team came by, and his name was Bob Trotter. And he came back and he's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing well, how are you doing? He's like, do you want to play basketball? And I was like, will it get me out of hospital for the day?
It's really hard to say what was really the nexus of everything. I think even as a kid, I've been really fortunate with my parents, my family. I've always been surrounded by a great family, great friends, which really is more than you can really ask in life in general. If you got that, you kind of got the world. It's really the only things you get to take with you. I always just kind of wanted better for myself. I always wanted more, and when I had my injury again, having that support makes a big difference. I don't know at what point you really make that change.
I think it was about my friends. They never treated me like I was disabled. Everything that we did, and it started out in high school, everything that they did, of course I was going to come along. They rode on my chair, hey, that was a great way to get to class late. My friends just never made it to be a problem, and I always just kind of rolled with what they were doing. When people tell you that you can't do something, you have a choice at that point to say, okay, I guess I can't, or no way, I'm going to show you. And I don't know where I necessarily got that. I don't know if it was my friends, my family, the hard work that my mom always had to do. I might get frustrated and mad that someone has said that, but that just starts something in the inside of me to say, I'm going to show you.
My brother and I are 4 years apart. He's an attorney as well. And he was the typical big brother. When he had a good day, he beat me up. And when he had a bad day, he beat me up. And when I started feeling sorry for myself because of my disability and started wanting special treatment, he had a very interesting way of dealing with it. He beat me up again. I was raised very normal. It was never, would I go to college, but how can we accomplish that?
So I kind of learned at an early age that if there's a curb in my way, it's pretty easy to say, hey, I can't get up or down this curb, I'm going to go somewhere else. But I think my mom and dad, my brother, my family really showed me that it's up to me to overcome that obstacle. So at a young age, you learn how to push through grass and go up and down curbs and go up and down stairs and kind of overcome those limits, which led to the obstacles that I overcame later in life.
A lot of people ask me, when after it happened, if I ever felt sorry for myself or got really depressed. And I can honestly say I never did. And I think one of the things that really shaped my attitude early on was I knew several individuals that had disability and how I interacted with them. And so I wanted to make sure that once I found out that I wouldn't be able to walk again, that I would, I wouldn't end up being like one of the person that I knew who was really negative a lot and felt sorry for himself. So I didn't want that to happen to me.
I used to get mad when people say you've got to be realistic, because let's face it, my dreams were very unrealistic, and I was able to make them happen. I do think And I really hate this cliche about pulling one up by one's own bootstraps, because that's a lot of malarkey, because you've got to have a support system. But I'm saying if you've got that support system, learn to advocate for yourself.
Far too often, particularly on transition age youth, all the studies have shown that youth with disabilities get about a fifth of the vocational exposure that kids without disabilities get. And I think trying to break that right away, letting kids know that whatever it is they want to do is possible. Dream big, do what you want to do.
Okay, you want to go outside?
Okay.
You have to live your dream. It's amazing how I think people are just scared that you're going to fail or it's going to be hard. But I don't know where anyone ever came up with life is easy, life is fair. It's hard work. And if you want something and you want the great things that come along with working hard, then that's what you have to do. And you have to keep working hard to get to the end of the road and say, look what I've accomplished. And sometimes, it's all the fighting that you do that I think sometimes I forget to look at what I've accomplished. I've done a great job and I'm still having a hard time with that, but I know that I have a choice. I could sit at home and do nothing and be bored, and what kind of a life is that? Or I can live, and I choose to live.
I don't think having a disability should change your goals or your outcome in life. So if your goal is to be a lawyer, that shouldn't change based on the fact that you're in a wheelchair. Or if your goal is to be whatever you may want to be, you can't let anything that happens in life change your goals of what you ultimately want to do in life.
I never really had moments of doubt that I couldn't do it. I was always really a confident person where if I knew if I set my mind to it, that I would be able to accomplish it, regardless of what it was that I wanted to accomplish. And it was just me figuring out, how do I do it? How do I get there?
And the most crucial thing that I want people with disabilities, especially kids, to remember is this is your life. You have to live it. Don't let anybody tell you what you want to do. You're the only one that really knows what you can do. And you may have to pay a price for doing that. It's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and nobody's going to do it for you. But once you've got that dream in mind, hold on to it like a bulldog holds onto a bone and never let it go no matter what anybody tells you.
And if you really want to be happy in life, having autonomy in your own situation is one of the biggies, and going to work provides that. It gives you the opportunities to come and go as you want, to go where you want to go, to live where you want to live, and how you want to live. So, the present's a gift, so celebrate it.
I think about what my life would be like if I would not have gone on to school or to become a teacher. I would not have this house. I would not have a vehicle. I would not have 2 beautiful kids. I would not have a man that loves me. None of that would have happened if I would have sat home and feel sorry for myself or my disability. You can feel bad, you can not like where you're at, but you better do something to change it, or that's what your life is going to become. I have 2 kids. Never would I have guessed that I would have had 2 kids. I guess he does kind of have that look, doesn't he? You have to believe in yourself and keep trying.
My name is Jeremy Lottie. Everybody calls me Opie, and I am the Director of Wheelchair Athletics.
My name is Melvin Jewett. I work with the Dane County District Attorney's Office with the Deferred Prosecution Program. I am the Community Service Coordinator.
I'm a labor lawyer with the APA. That means I specialize in answering grievances, responding to EO complaints.
My name's Joe Entwistle. I'm a Senior Policy Analyst with the National Consortium with House Systems Development and HDA.
I'm Becky Drochinsky. I'm a wife, a mother, a teacher, an artist, and a believer.